Hello ghosts and operators out there, welcome to a JJAM Gaming video. Today around increasing the immersion of Ghost Recon Wildlands. There's different sources like YouTube, Reddit, and hey, this channel, give us a like, maybe subscribe, it really helps out. But today we're going to be looking at a few different ones, really to get yourselves feeling like you're there in Bolivia. We're going to do 2 easy suggestions, 2 big boy suggestions, ones that are slightly harder, and 5 other great suggestions that sort of help roll in that immersion and that immersive gameplay. I hope you're sitting comfortably, boys and girls. So let's jump straight in. Number 1, first easy one is sync shot. The sync shot can be considered cheating on the community. There's a little demo there. I've gone from right to left, just syncing them up 1, 2, 3. Now it can be used on multiplayer as well, but not as cheaty as single player with the AI helping you. Looking at this one, whizzing around here, no HUD, so you can't see the tickets, but you can hear them chick, chick, chick. You can hear them tagging on, and if I had line of sight, if they hurried up for me, I'd be able to take those out without firing a shot myself. It's that guaranteed accuracy. This one, although there's a bit of a glitchy bush, you can see those 2 guys there, dead. Brown bread. Okay, and that's the power of sync shot. You can just fire from afar. Looking at the second easy one is your radio and your audio. Now, a lot of people like turning off the radio and off a lot of the voices, just sort of going just for the visuals, or even having like a podcast in the background. But keep it on, it's more immersive. Look at the difficulty then. We've got all these different difficulties. Arcade there is the easiest. It's simple. There's a little description there which is really handy. Regular, slightly harder. Advanced, again, a little bit harder. Extreme, hard as balls. It's tricky. But if you're going to go for immersion, whack it up to extreme, or at least build up to it. You'll thank me later. But really, remember, the best difficulty is for you, whichever one you find the most enjoyable. Now looking at other settings, specifically the HUD, this is where a lot of the immersion is going to really come in handy. Now, if we fly through really quickly, we'll turn it all off. No HUD, there's a quick setting at the top, but hey. Now, we could go whack it all on. Full HUD. It's the most arcadey, most COD-like, if you like. And it's just, you know, it's to each of their own. Some people like it, some people don't. If you want a more chilled out gameplay, stick all the HUD on. It's helpful. It makes it a little bit more user friendly, a lot more user friendly in fact, and you've got all of these different things popping up that can help you. If you flip that completely 360 it, 180 it, all that HUD, no HUD disappears. Yeah, so all completely gone, but it's the most immersive, it's the most real, but it is pretty hard. But finding a middle ground, let's have a look at what we use on our live gameplay, usually on a Tuesday night, depending on the holidays and things like that. So we have low HUD, and it depends sort of how we're feeling, but it's usually the same. It's going to be like things like these markers or the contextual actions. The compass, we're going to pop those on and leave the big ones like the mini-map off. The communication markers and things we're going to pop on, and depending on things like the experience or maybe the capability of players, maybe you want more or less when you're playing with friends, and that's where we've tried to find this sort of middle ground. Check out the footage, it's all up on the lives. It's pretty good, it's pretty fun. We chat, we catch up, we game, just as you know some adults try to do with mates. But looking at our little bit of gameplay footage here, we've got some of these low HUD options on. We've got a fancy old drone. You know, we're going to touch on that, and we're going to touch on maybe a cosmetic option later on very soon, so stay tuned for that one. But here are some of the markers. You know, is it game breaking? It's up to you. We don't feel it is. Tell us if we're wrong. Tell us what sort of settings that you use. Looking at Tech Soldier now, so touching on that futuristic, amazing, incredible soldier and that limited HUD, you know, without breaking reality, look at the tech goggles, yeah? That can be your excuse, if you like, to have some of these HUD markers. Perfectly legit. You've also got some other things like the tech optical camo back off the Black of the Black Spade mission. Really good mission. Really quite fun and enjoyable. Just keep playing it. But it literally turns you invisible. It doesn't help with the camo like it says. There's another video on that. Go check it out. But super cool, right? It just doesn't work with your AI friends. I don't know if you noticed that. Flip side, drones. Drones are incredible, but either do or don't use them depending on your immersion. They are being used in real life at the moment, so it's completely up to you, but, you know, it's another option. Looking at vehicles then, so I don't have loads of clips of vehicles, but you got your different vehicles, we all know what they are. But let's talk about immersion. Why don't you just use the natural spawning vehicles like the bike there? Why don't you cut out the random magical wizard drops? And why not, if you really want to go hard, take out fast travel? For ammo boxes, not the ammo itself, but why don't you make it a little bit harder for yourself and only do your skills and your ammo, guns rather, and your costumes whilst you're at the ammo boxes. Now they're dotted around frequently enough, usually in a place where you do have a natural rest, like safe houses or beginning or ends of missions, things like that. But this can also help make that immersion element a bit harder. It's a really good consideration, I think, to only change your outfit, your weapons, things like that at the ammo boxes. Okay, and you can see the different special outfits I've got there, which is going to lead us nicely on to the next point. Camos. Now, on the special outfits tab, this is actually something that I learned quite recently. But these are your presets, and these go across your different characters, so your different save files. So you can have things like a night camo, you can have your HUD, you can have your urban camos, you know, something a little bit more touristy, which wasn't very touristy, I understand that. Ghillies, something more for rocks and boulders, or why not even like a snowsuit? It's not particularly white and bright, but that type of thing. Why don't you mix up your camos? That's another option. Why don't you just 007 it? Just 007 it. Harder than it sounds, right? But pistoling, it can really make you feel like James Bond. It can make you feel like a spy. You're really getting into the immersion and the nitty-grittiness of it, where you're getting in close to them more like a spy, more like an insertion tactic. Night missions. So night missions are really cool as well. So demonstrating here, you've got things like the spotting distance that we demonstrated in another video. You got things like the laser, making it really, really cool. You don't really need to ADS. Or you got the more relaxed and AI sleeping. Okay, so that's also really, really handy. I'll try and flash up a little screenshot of just two guys sleeping in the bed. You know, that's an example of how easy it can be. So in conclusion, whipping round on the very, really quick backdrop there, we got the two easy ones of sync shot, and we've also got your radio and audio. They're really, really easy considerations to cut out or keep in. Then you got difficulty settings, which can really ramp it up, and your HUD settings. Depending on what you want to go for, you can take it from easy massively to extreme. You also got tech soldier considerations. I think that's a pretty good one, if I do say so myself. Vehicles, and really making it harder and more immersive for yourself and the scenery, using vehicles differently. Only swapping things at ammo boxes. Another good consideration is one that I try to do as well. It does make it a little bit more harder. You need to pre-plan better. 007 it. So using pistols more when you're inserting into camps, things like that. Even like a small sub, like a little MP7 or something. And then night missions. So really taking advantage of the dark and that sleeping AI, that sort of thing. Okay, so those are your big long list of considerations and immersion settings, maybe immersion tactics that you can use, swap and change around to really create a more immersive, maybe more challenging, more rewarding gameplay of a really fantastic open world shooter. But that's it all for today, really, guys. So give us a like, give us a subscribe. All of that really does help. You got a little subscribe button there. Check out those other videos. That also helps us out a whole bunch. But thanks very much. Let us know what you think, and we will catch you on the next one. JJAM Gaming out.